What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Absolute Strength Podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Hunt, and the Absolute Strength Podcast is sponsored by Health IQ, an insurance company that helps weightlifters and other health-conscious people get lower rates on their life insurance. To see if you qualify, get your free quote today at healthiq.com/absolute strength or mention the promo code Absolute Strength when you talk to a Health IQ agent. As always, I'll put the direct link in the show notes. I'm getting good at reading that. Although I always stumble over my words. It was the weirdest thing. I'm going to tell you guys a story to start this podcast. When I was in elementary school, I don't know why I remember this. I honestly think it was third grade. It's crazy that I can remember the specific grade I was in. But I think I was in third grade, and we had to write a story in class. And then part of the assignment was we had to write the story, and then at the end of it, when we finished it and turned it in, we had to read it in front of the class. Now, of course, as a third, fourth grader, this was a big deal. I mean, shit, this is a big deal for college students. I mean, for most college students, for most adults, for anybody, public speaking's a big deal. So, but for me, it was never a big deal. Like, I was never afraid of public speaking. I always enjoyed it. Like, I liked putting on a show. This is when I was in elementary school, middle school, high school, and in college as well. Like, I enjoyed it. Like, I enjoy public speaking. But what I don't like doing is reading in front of people. Like, I can say anything and talk and put on a show in front of people, but you make me read something, and that's when I get nervous. And this goes all the way back into third grade. So this is my point. This is the point of the story here. So I wrote, took the time and wrote the story. I was like in third or fourth grade, so it probably wasn't that elaborate, but wrote the story. And then when I had to go out in front of the class to read it, I didn't read any of it. I just made up some bullshit, like completely, not even anything remotely that had to do with my story. I just went up there and just started talking. And, I thought it went pretty well. And then I just remember when, because I think we must have had to print out 2 copies or something and give the teacher one, and we were supposed to hold one and read it. Because I just remember afterwards when I got the paperback graded, it had it wasn't even graded. It was like see me, like the teacher, I had to go see the teacher, and I had a meeting with her, and I remember her saying, she's like, Kyle, the assignment was you had to read your story, but you didn't read your story at all. Why? How come? And I still remember what I said to her, and I said, well, listen, I was gonna read it, but I just thought, when I got up there, I had a better story to tell. So that's what I told her. Now, the truth was, I just was terrified of having to read in front of the class. But I'll perform in front of the class. I just don't want to read in front of the class. So here I am as a 26-year-old adult. I've done over 100 podcasts here. I don't know how many I've done with the sponsorship. And right before I go to read the sponsorship, I still think in my head, I go, man, Kyle, don't fuck this up. Don't fuck up the writing here. Make sure you put on a little bit of put on a show here for Health IQ. Make sure you read it with some authority. Make sure you read it, and it doesn't sound like you're just reading off of paper, which I automatically just assume that it probably does. I digress. All right, let's get into this episode. Let's get to the episode. This one's really cool. This is a curveball, a little bit different than the episodes we've been, popping out here on the Absolute Strength. We have Alyssa Logrand, also known as her Instagram, Alyssa Rose_fit. This was a cool episode. She's a bikini competitor, but we talked about a wide range of stuff here. We even talked about, for you guys who wanna hit up these Instagram chicks in the DMs, we talked about that. Talked about the DMs. Talked about a lot of stuff. This is the entertainment episode here. And I need to get more females on the episodes because, I've only had a handful of chicks on the Absolute Strength podcast, and I feel like afterwards that we the conversations end up just going in different directions, which I like. And, as always with the Absolute Strength podcast, and with this podcast, I'm trying to put out content that is different. Like, yeah, sometimes, the name is Absolute Strength, so most of the time we're talking powerlifting, strength sports topics. But then other times we might not even talk about training at all. We might not even talk about powerlifting. We might not even talk about bodybuilding. We might not talk about really anything related to that at all. Of course, it usually all comes back around. But I would say this is one of those episodes where we just turned on the mic and Had a really cool conversation. So I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to get you to the episode. As always, if you enjoy the show, if you could help a brother out and just tell one friend about it. Just tell one friend about the Absolute Strength podcast. I'd really appreciate it. And if you want to give me some feedback, hit me up at Hunt Fitness on Instagram. Shoot me a DM. Let me know how you're enjoying the show. All right, Alyssa LeGrand. Alyssa, what's going on?
How you doing, Kyle?
Thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Super excited.
Where are you located?
San Diego, California.
San Diego. That's right. Yeah, I knew it was West Coast because when we scheduled this, it shows your time versus my time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
You're on the East Coast?
Yeah, actually, I'm from upstate New York, but I live in South Carolina now.
Okay. How's the fitness community over there?
So I live right on the beach, and I live in Myrtle Beach in South Carolina, and the bodybuilding scene is actually halfway decent, not crazy. Like I actually thought it would be more so than it is. But I compete in powerlifting, and there's hardly any powerlifting at all. So there's a little bit of bodybuilding, but not much powerlifting.
Well, it's easier to make a name for yourself in a smaller town, you know.
Yeah, well, it's so I come from a smaller town in New York, and then I went to college in a small town like south of Buffalo. And now I moved down here. It's a relatively smaller town. I've always lived in a smaller town.
I've always been like big city. I don't know. Well, San Diego's not that big, but I mean, like the fitness community is just growing. We host like tons of bodybuilding competitions here, the muscle contest, MPC shows, and there's tons of like powerlifting meets here. So I don't know. The community's pretty big, but it's nice because it's close.
Yeah.
It's big. Like, everyone kind of knows each other.
Well, I feel like that's just California in general, right?
True. Yeah. You go up to LA, it's just even more saturated.
Oh, yeah. LA, like Santa Monica and Venice and stuff. It seems like everybody is living there.
I know. I'm probably going to be one of those people.
You're going to move up there?
I mean, it's like, okay, I can stay in San Diego for a little bit, see what it has to. I've been here for 3.5 years. I went to San Diego State, just finished school. Like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
So weird. Yeah. So I finished college in 3.5 years.
Done for good? Like you graduated? Oh, congrats. That's awesome.
Thanks. It doesn't feel like that.
What'd you study?
So I actually studied, I have a bachelor's in science in hospitality tourism management with the emphasis in hotel operations. And essentially, my classes were business, finance, and leadership classes.
Okay.
But the leadership classes definitely like helped, and business, running my own business, what I've learned and taking that and applying it to what I want to do has definitely helped. And it's given me more of like a different mindset and seeing everything in life as more of like an opportunity, you know?
Yeah, of course.
Definitely changed your perspective.
What did you want to do when you originally started?
I wanted to be like a GM and like executive of like a Ritz-Carlton.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I started working in hotels when I was 16 in like very high-end resorts, and I liked the high-end service, and at the end of the day, like I really liked just helping other people and like making a difference like in their stay, or like I like going out of my way to do something special for people, or like having people take away something because of something that I was able to do for them.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it's just my end goal is making a difference and helping others, and that's what makes me happy. So
it's a good thing. That's a good way to be.
But I put in a lot of time and effort into that. I mean, I served as like the chapter ambassador for the only nationally recognized hospitality club in the nation. Mm-hmm. So I went to multiple conferences. So I did my time. I did my thing. I worked for 5 different companies, high-end companies, and it's just all like a facade to me. And it's just at the end of the day, I don't really like working for other people. I'm a very like headstrong person, and I respect authority, but I don't like being kind of told what to do by incompetent people.
It's funny you say that because I can't remember how old I was when I first came to this conclusion, but so I worked for a contractor all throughout high school, which was like manual labor stuff, which was good. I mean, it was like hard work, but it was good for a high school kid to do. And then I got a personal training job at 17. And right around that time, 17, 18, I started my online thing, which was back in 2010, before it was like everyone was doing online shit back then. And I just realized, like, as soon as I started my own thing, I'm like, holy shit, I cannot work for anybody anymore. I just am, I don't know, I don't do well with, like you said, just authority figures that are incompetent. Like, I like to look up to people who have their shit together, but most of the time when you're working in these jobs, like, people just don't even have their shit together, and they're like bossing you around. It's not my thing.
But, yeah, and what's more unfortunate is, like, when you're younger, and even though you're younger, you're not looked as in comparison to someone that's a supervisor or manager that's, like, been in their position from, like, 5 to 35, 50 years, you know, and you could do the job so much better. Like, you have these ideas, but you're never, like, listened to, and that's what's frustrating to me. So I'm like, I have too much talent and drive, and I have my own goals. So at the end of the day, I'd rather not work for someone else's goals at the expense of my own, when I know I could lead something better. Mm-hmm. And, you know, have my own team to, like, motivate and grow with. Yeah. Because I'd just rather help people and inspire action in others, you know? But
100%. Where are you originally from? I'm
from Palos Verdes. Do you know where that is?
No, where's that?
So it's like, well, you know where, like, Venice and Santa Monica is, right?
Yep.
It's 45 minutes down the coast.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's one of the beach cities over in the peninsula.
So. How come you didn't go back there after school? Or I guess you just graduated. Do you plan on going back there or going back to... No?
No, it's more like a place. First of all, it's very expensive to live there. Yeah. But unless I want to live with my mom. But I'm not suggesting. I moved down at 18. I told her, like, after my freshman year of college, I was like, you know, you're in the dorms. I called her. I was like, yeah, I picked up 2 jobs. I'm subleasing this apartment, and I'm not coming home. She was like, okay. So I just been doing my thing since.
Yeah, when I graduated college, I moved all my shit. I went to school about 2 hours away from my house, so moved home.
Yeah, 2 hours.
Moved all my shit into unpacked the U-Haul into the garage. The next morning, woke up, looked at an apartment, found one, signed the lease. Went back to my mom's house, took all my shit out of the garage, and just took it to the apartment. So after I graduated college, I never moved back home.
Yeah, it just, I don't know. You seem like an independent individual too.
Yeah, I think it's.
I tried to put it on my own.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where it's a comfort factor. I think if you allow yourself to, when you finish school or whenever you move back home, you get very comfortable because your parents are going to be probably buying food, and obviously they're paying for the house. You're not paying for it to live, and then you're kind of doing your own thing. It gets very comfortable, so then you don't have that. I mean, especially if you're a person who is complacent, you'll just do that forever. But on the flip side, someone like me, after being away and on my own in school, there was no way I was going to be able to go home and listen to my parents. That's just wouldn't work.
I can't do that. I like doing my own thing. No one's told me what to do in a long time.
Yeah, it's wild when you think back to high school and when you were younger and how, I mean, it's for a good reason, but having so many restrictions. And then you go to college and it's a free-for-all. You're like, holy shit, I'm on my own. I can do whatever I want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely grew a lot over the last 3.5 years. How old are you?
26.
Okay. 21.
Oh, you're 21, yeah.
Yeah.
How old do you think I was?
20. I was going to guess 25.
Oh, really? Oh, that's pretty close. Yeah. When I was 19, 20, 21, I think I looked probably 15. I looked super, super young. And then I feel like I've aged a ton the last couple of years. So I actually look my age now. I think I blame my daughter. So I have a 3-year-old. And I don't know. I feel like the last 3 years I've aged probably. I've caught up to what I actually look like now.
All that stress.
All that stress, I'm telling you. Now I actually look my age. It's probably a good thing, though, because, it was it was kind of neat, but it was kind of annoying when you're 21 and you're going out and every single time, you have to, try to convince the people that it's not a fake ID. I'm listen, this is my actual ID. I'm not trying to pull shit over you. It's so funny. It's like, there's no way you're 21. I'm like, I'm fucking 21. I graduated college at 21. Like, I'm graduated from college. Like, let me in.
Man, I'm like getting over a cold.
Oh, really?
Water. Yeah.
How warm is it right there right now? It's probably pretty warm, right?
I think it's like 60s.
Yeah. So.
Oh, one second. All right, we're good. Do you like my like Christmas stocking?
I know. I was wondering. I was like, is that a stocking?
Yeah, I
like
have a little Christmas tree.
Oh, I like it. You're still festive. My office has like nothing in it, like decoration wise for.
What is that in the back?
What stadium? It's the Buffalo Bills stadium.
Okay, so you like football?
Yeah. So I I played football when I was little. My main sport was wrestling once I got in high school. But I went to my stepdad took me to a Bills game when, I don't know, I was probably like 7 or 8 years old. And I'd never been to any sporting event ever. And I just remember going to, and we had like really good seats, like right up, like I think like maybe like front row, second row, 50-yard line, awesome seats. And I was just like blown away by it. I was like, holy shit, like this is amazing. I'm like a 7 or 8 year old kid. So from like that point forward, I just absolutely have loved the Bills.
That's awesome. I played soccer for 12 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so actually the goalie.
Is that how you got into fitness and working out and stuff?
Yeah, so people like think that. They're like, okay, first of all, your legs are huge. Like, what did you do? I was like, I played soccer for 12 years. Yeah. And then, but we never did weight training or anything. But it's funny. The way like my life is like directed was just like over just like different adversities that I've like went through and overcome. Mm-hmm. So I stopped playing soccer my junior year of high school. That was like my last year. And then my senior year of high school, I like wanted to be like fit and work out. So I started to like run a little bit more. And then I always like just saw on like Instagram, I think I followed like Heidi Somers.
Buzz Bunny?
Yeah, Buzz Bunny. And I just started like one night, I don't know what it was, but just something like inspired me that I just like went online and just started like Googling different ways to like work out, kind of like transform your body, like what's good for you to do, what's good to eat. And then it helped that I was dating someone who was really into weight training, and he had his own gym in his garage. He had his own setup. So that's where like it all began for me. And like one day, I told him, I was like, so like, can I work out in the garage with you? Like,
what did he say?
He was like, yeah.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I was like, you can like kind of show me things, but like I had this whole like workout written up, and I was like, I kind of like came up with this. Can you like go over it for me and like kind of like show me some basics and different things? So he showed me a lot, and then I think I did like the same workout program for like 4 months. Mm-hmm. And then he was like really into eating healthy too, and like it's so funny. He's always like, you should like drink like some whey, like post workout. I was like, no, I wouldn't even take a supplement. No, I don't want to do that. I'm just gonna get big.
Yeah, you're probably. Yes, I was gonna say you're probably thinking like, oh, I don't want to get all muscly. I don't want to get bulky.
I was like, I was like, I don't need that.
Yeah. Like, I don't need that shit.
I know, like the typical like misconception of like supplements. And he gave me like pre-workout ones. I remember it was like the Neon. Do you remember that brand?
Yeah, it was the Neon Sport, whatever it was. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, it was. Wasn't it? It was like an off-brand of Cellucor, I think.
Maybe. Yes.
I think it was. Yeah, I think Neon was affiliated with Cellucor. Actually, I actually liked their pre-workout.
Me too. It was really good, and like I think you could still get it on like BBCom. Your video.
I'm back.
Okay.
Can you still get Neon? I don't even know.
I don't know. I ordered it like 2 years ago. But I remember like thinking about it. I was like, oh, that was some pretty good pre-workout. But I just remember it being like super tingly. I was like, I hate this. Like, I'm like, I can't even work out.
Oh, so were you like really tingly from the beta only? Oh, yes.
I don't know what it was. But from there, like I started like increasing weight and like wanting to challenge myself. And I think I lost like 20 or 25 pounds my senior year. And I got like pretty like small and like lean, but like not like overly tiny.
Yeah.
But what happened was I had a tumor in my mouth, so I had to stop playing soccer.
Oh, so is that the reason that you stopped playing soccer?
Yeah, so like these teeth, so cute, are all fake, like the bottom three.
So what's the story there? Explain that a little bit.
One day I looked in the mirror and my like gum was like red and puffy. I was like, that's not right. And then it like wouldn't go away for a few weeks. And I told my mom and I was like, let's go to the dentist. And he did an x-ray and he pulls out the x-ray and his face is just like, he goes, shit. And I'm like,
that's what he said? Oh, wow.
I was like, what's up, Dr. Mazzella? And he's like, yeah, so you remember your oral surgeon that like removed your wisdom teeth? I'm like, yeah. He goes, well, I made an appointment for you two tomorrow. I'm like, okay. He's like, I think this is more his arena. And he looked at the x-ray and then he looks at me and goes, okay, we need to go into surgery right now for a biopsy. I was like, just expecting him to look at my x-ray. And like, here I am having to go into like surgery. It was so weird. And he was like, well, it could be a cyst, it could be a tumor, like we're not really sure. And the biopsy came back like I think like a week and a half, 2 weeks later. And I remember working on my senior project in my like living room. My mom just like looks at me and she goes, so I got a phone call today. And then I just looked at her and I was like, oh, like, okay, I know what it is.
Yeah.
Like, just like based off the tone of her voice. And I'm like, it's okay. Like, I'm obviously like the right people are looking after me. Let's just get it taken care of. So I went into surgery and so it's called a central giant cell granuloma. They don't really know what it was caused by, but it's most commonly seen in like people aged like 12 to 17, 18, and in football players.
Really?
Yeah. And we're like, okay, maybe it's from all the like trauma I got to my mouth as a goalie because I get kicked in the face all the time.
Yeah.
The ball in the face all the time. Like I was pretty rough.
Yeah.
And so yeah, they removed the teeth and like my tumor, and it was fibrous, so it was spreading pretty quickly. And I'm really lucky that I caught it when I did because it dissolved all the bone and root in my mouth, and it could have dissolved a bone in my jaw, and my jaw could have concaved. It could have had a brace in my mouth. I was just like, all these things.
Oh my God.
And everything that he told me, like, and we don't know if it was going to come back or not. So I literally had like 4 or 5 surgeries on my mouth. I had to do a bone grafting. Like I had to do another bone grafting because the bone just wouldn't grow back. But in that time, I had to wait like 6 to 8 months before I got the bone graft to see if the tumor would come back. So I was toothless for like 2 years.
Wow. That was like right around your senior year of high school?
So senior year of high school, and I didn't get my teeth till sophomore year of college.
Oh, wow. That must have been pretty challenging.
Yeah, I mean, I had this like Invisalign. It was pretty ratchet. It was like, you couldn't tell.
What did it look like?
So it was like an Invisalign with like the 3 bottom teeth filled in.
Okay.
And I would just like pop it out. It was a fun party trick.
I was going to say,
like,
at parties.
Like, flip my teeth out.
Yeah, you get drinking or something, and then you show everyone your no teeth.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, well, I obviously can't do any physical contact sports anymore, so I kind of like just absorbed myself in just like weight training, and I went from training 3 days a week and like running 4 days a week to training 4 days a week, and then my freshman year of college, I like stepped into like this awesome gym at SDSU, and I was like, oh my God. I was just like a kid in this like playground. I was just so excited. But I still didn't go into the big weight room. I was like super intimidated by all the like frat guys and all the older boys that are like in their 20s, you know, and I'm just like, oh, like I still haven't like done any sort of like anything in the squat rack. I still hadn't done any sort of like deadlifts, more just like machines and like some dumbbell stuff. But like, I mean, I put on muscle pretty quickly, and I was able to like shape myself. Oh my gosh, I remember not wanting to train shoulders that much because I'm like, dang it, Alyssa, you screwed it up, because I've had to work like super hard to get any sort of shoulder I have now because like that newbie stage, like everything went to my like lower body.
Yeah,
I mean, it felt bad, but like
it's probably a good thing.
Yeah, and then my freshman year of college, I went to this conference in Pittsburgh, and I came back, and like the next day I noticed some like spots in my body. This is something else that I went through. And I was like, what is this? So I went to the doctor, and they're like, oh, it's just like a skin infection. I'm like, okay, that's weird. And then it would just kept spreading all over my body and getting worse. And then I went to my primary doctor, and I had to like get a new one because I was in San Diego, but through my medical care. And he diagnosed me with something else that wasn't it. And I like treated myself for this thinking I had it for 2 weeks. So meanwhile, it's like a month's gone by, and my entire body is just filled in like these red spots, literally head to toe. And I was like freaking out. Like I didn't want to go anywhere. It was like 90-degree weather. I was covering myself in like sweatshirts and sweats, and like I was so embarrassed. And then I finally like pushed my doctors to let me go to a dermatologist, and my dermatologist looked at me. She goes, "It's none of that." Hold on. I'm going to lose my voice over here. Like, so you have gut-tape psoriasis, which is an autoimmune disease. I don't know if you've heard of like plaque psoriasis.
Yeah.
So gut-tape psoriasis is either genetic or it's formed through undetected strep throat. So being like a freshman in college and being in the dorms, my like roommate kept getting strep throat because she'd go like drink at the frat houses, and like
that's never a good idea.
She'd get me sick. So I had strep throat so many times that it went undetected, and it caused my psoriasis. So it's like the overproduction of skin cells. Your skin cells are producing so rapidly that these spots start forming because it can't like flush off with like growing. So they're called like skin lesions. But it wasn't contagious or anything. It's like strictly like an autoimmune disease. But she told me it was incurable. And so in my head, I was like, I'm going to look like this.
I'm going to have spots on me the rest of my life.
It was just super itchy and uncomfortable and like extremely isolating. Like, and that was definitely when I like started to develop this like self-love for myself. And like it took a long time, but I like taught myself that, you know, my worth is in my character and not in my appearance. And, you know, I am worthy of doing the things I want to do, and I can still do the things I want to do and be loved, and others will love me. And, but I know I have to love myself first, obviously, you know, but it's hard being an 18-year-old girl.
Well, I was just going to say, that's a hard thing for, probably, I mean, obviously I can't relate 100%, but I would assume for most college-age females, or really any female in general, it's hard to separate your self-worth from what you look like and who you actually are.
Yeah, exactly.
And then especially in the fitness industry too. I mean, that's just like another level to it.
Definitely. And it's funny because that's when I was like, but the gym was the only place I felt good. Like I dedicated everything I could to the gym in my school. I got like straight A's like that year. So it was like gym, school, work, and like I had my like freshman first semester party year, you know, and then I was like over it. Oh my God, I remember being 18. It was in like February. I remember this so clearly. I went to the gym and I went to do a barbell like bent over row, and I thought I was gonna throw up, and I was so pissed because I couldn't finish my workout, and I was like so hungover.
You're hungover, yeah.
I'm never drinking again.
How long did that last?
I didn't drink after that for 2.5 years.
Oh, wow. Shit.
Like, nothing.
That's crazy.
I know.
That's dedication, though.
I just, like, didn't care. I was like, this is poison. It's not good for my body. I only want to do things that are good for my body right now, especially those, like, before with what I went through. So... And what also like kind of helped, but I mean, it's not like I was tempted to drink anyways. Once I started treating myself with medications, you couldn't drink on them.
Oh, okay.
Because they're like heavily monitored medications in order to cure the psoriasis. But I failed 3 medications.
They just didn't work, or
they like started to, and then my like skin started coming back, and like it just nothing would work. And then I was just like, don't give up, Alyssa. And, like, your mindset is huge because the more you stress out about it, the worse it gets. And So I really had to like focus on like thinking positively and speaking positively and just being a happier person and doing things in my life that made me happy. So that's when I was like, I'm not going to let this hold me back from what I want to do. And I've always heard about like bikini competitions, and everyone's always told me like, oh, you have like such a great shape. Like, why don't you try competing? So I was like, I remember I like posted this long Facebook status about how I stopped drinking, the skin disease I developed, and what I was going to do. I was like, I'm going to focus on school and my like future career, and I'm going to prep for a bikini show. So, and I told myself I was going to step on stage whether my skin was clear or not, because I had like 6 or 7 months or whatever.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that was then you did your first show?
Yeah, when I was 19, I did my first show, and I did have like some spots on my body still. I remember getting my spray tan, and like, I don't know, have you ever competed or like know about spray tan?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I know about competing, for sure.
So you have to like moisturize your skin and everything, and like obviously my spots were like dry, so they'd show up more. Mm-hmm. And I like remember looking at myself being like, damn. But I was like, you know what, it doesn't matter. Like, I worked this hard and I did what I had to do. Like, I just need to let it go. But yeah, eventually I went on another medication that worked, that it was like a pill that could only take for a year. Mm-hmm. And then after that, it was like, see how and I also got my tonsils removed so I would stop getting strep throat. I did a lot for this.
Man. I'm like, man, I should make a list here. Is there any other health complications that you had?
I know, right? So I had my tonsils removed after my first show, and then I was just like determined to like kind of like beat this. And then after being on the medication for like a few months, my body was cleared, and then I stayed on it for a year, and then my doctor's like, need to come off it. And I was like, okay, we'll see what happens. And I've been medication free for almost a year now.
Oh, that's awesome.
And nothing's shown up on my body.
That's great. What was the your first show like? What was the prep and everything? How was that process?
Oh my gosh. So I met my first coach in line at Smart and Final. I remember wanting to compete, and then I like saw this lady. I'm like, damn, she's freaking shredded and jacked. And like, I started to like work with her, but I didn't really like her coaching style. It was just kind of like weird and like super like old school.
Old school,
like,
yeah.
We'd only like meet in person. I don't know. She actually ripped me off. We only met twice, and sorry, I have a puppy. Oh. And he just woke up from his nap and moved to my shoes. Okay. I gotta make sure he doesn't pee.
I was gonna say, yeah, don't let him pee everywhere.
Yeah. So I just didn't really like.
On a same note, though, I'm currently we're like just getting over potty training my daughter. So it's like the same thing.
Like, it's the same thing. Like, reward them for going inside the bathroom, reward them for going outside. Yep. My mom did a sticker chart with me because it was so exciting. Every time I went in the bathroom, I got a
Maybe that's
sticker.
what I need to do.
Yeah, you need like a reward system.
Yeah, we tried like, I mean, mind you, I mean, she just turned 3, so she really should be potty trained by now. But it's like, I don't know. She mostly is, but she's still having some accidents.
She's still communication.
Yeah,
but,
that's funny.
Yeah, so from there, then I like, my friend told me about her friend that does like flexible dieting. I was like, oh, that's what I want to do. He didn't know what he was doing. And then my friend, I don't know if you know who Katie Corio is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Katie Corio and I were really good friends. We trained at the gym together. I saw her. And she was like, oh, why don't you, like, work with my coach? And I started to work with him, and we only had, like, 8 weeks at this point. And, like, I still had a decent amount of fat to lose. And I think I went from, like, 127 to 115 and then 8 weeks. But he had my carbs at, like, 60 grams of carbs, 20 grams of fat, an hour of HIIT, like 230
An hour of HIIT. Oh, wow.
Like, he would fucking crash diet me.
Yeah, I was going to say, that sounds like you were pretty much on nothing.
But I was like, yeah, let's do it. I didn't really understand. I didn't know how, like, bad that was.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I looked the best I ever looked, but I think I got, like, 6th or 7th. And then after that, I like rebounded a little bit, but he never like raised my macros in my off season. Like my carbs were only at like 175. My fat was only like 30.
That was the highest?
Yeah. I was like, why? Like, so of course I didn't really like stick to my macros as much as I wanted to.
Well, yeah, that's the problem with that when you're coming off from a contest prep or really any fat loss phase, and especially when you get your calories as low as you had them. I mean, part of it is just you got to get out of that deficit just to stick to the macros. 'Cause if you're still in a deficit after a fat loss phase or after a contest prep, especially, it's extremely hard to stick to your macros at that point.
Yeah, he was like, oh, if I give you fat, you're just going to, like, gain more weight, and, like, blah, blah, blah. And, like, I still was doing, like, 3 or 4 HIIT sessions, 20-minute HIIT sessions a week. And, like, then from there, like, 6 or 7 months later, I was like, oh, I want to prep for a show again. And, like, I was eating, like, a little bit more food this time, but, like, I was doing that 30-minute, two 30-minute HIIT sessions for, like, 5 months straight. I dieted from March to September.
When was this?
2016.
Last year.
Yeah. So, I mean, I looked pretty good. I was just so stringy and like depleted looking and definitely underfed, and like I definitely needed a diet break. Like you can't diet for that long without having a cardio or diet break.
Yeah, you gotta have a diet break. Yeah,
4 days, like something, maintain the look you have and like eat. But no, like what my central nervous system was like shot.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, so I mean, mentally I was like very focused, so I was kind of like willing to do whatever. I'm that type of person. I'm like, I'm just gonna do what you told me to do, and I'm gonna do it because I want to win. Type of
yeah.
And I did one show. My goal was like a Friend of Legacy, so I did like a show that was like a warm-up show, but I didn't feel ready. I didn't want to be on stage. Like I was like, no, like I don't look good. Like I looked great, but I didn't look the way I wanted to look. Like I could look at myself and objectively and be like, yeah, I was really tiny, but I could have improved here. I could have improved there. But he was like, oh, you just need to keep dieting. I'm like, okay. So then I remember like my boyfriend at the time was going to the Olympia. We did like long distance, so we like tried to meet up every time we could. He was like, oh, like let's go to the Olympia, because he was like working for a supplement company, and I was like, okay. And then I looked into like the Flex magazine model search, and I was like, hey, I have nothing else to do. It's only $100. Like, why not? So I like paid for that and like my spray tan and flight, and I was like, I want to do this. Like, this seems fun. Like, why not? I'm gonna be at the expo anyways. Like, I can walk around before or after. Why not get some more stage experience and compete with like a bunch of different people? Maybe I'll land some opportunities or get noticed.
Yeah.
So I did the model search. I got like 15th out of 65 girls, which is like pretty good considering it was like international too.
Was that was last year?
Yeah, last year's Olympia. So I got to like stand on the Olympia stage. I got to be backstage with all the Olympians. I was backstage. So I actually got spray tan with Courtney King that night. We were like chilling in bed together at the hotel, like giggling about freaking boys and stuff. Like, this is awesome.
Oh, that's
like,
wild.
Yeah, I was like, and it was just like cool because she won the Olympia the next day. I was backstage with her and I saw her before she went on stage, and I gave her a big hug. I was like, good luck. Like, I really loved talking to you last night. Like, I really wish you the best. And he's hungry. And yeah, she won, and I was just like, that's so cool that I got to like be with her and have that moment with her,
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, she's her and Steve Cook. They're power couple.
I know, they're like goals AF.
I know, 100%.
I've always said like more men need to be like Steve Cook.
Yeah, I think Steve Cook's like he's like the ultimate dude. Oh, the puppy makes an appearance.
Yeah, he's sitting at my feet.
Oh, I like it. Yeah. No, Steve, he's shit. I remember, I think I first found out about Steve Cook in like a muscle and fitness magazine, like way back in the day.
I know, he's definitely like one of the first people you kind of hear about in the fitness industry, like when you first enter, like Heidi Summers, like kind of like one of those people, like the big Paige Hathaway. So from there, he was like, oh, let's just keep dieting. And I was just kind of over it after Vegas. because he was there at my show and like didn't even pay attention to me.
No.
Like, he's just not a good coach.
Sounds like you've had some rough coach experiences.
You're telling me. I was like, I need a.
I like it.
He's so cute. I was like, I need to break up with him. And like, I remember like wanting to work with this one coach. And so I emailed him and I was like, this is my current situation. Like, mentally, I'm not there. Like, this is what I've been going through. And physically, I'm so burnt out. Like, I started just like snacking like in the middle of the night sometimes because like I couldn't sleep. Not like binging, just like snacking.
Yeah, little thing. Yeah.
And I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I need a break.
We'll be right back to the show after a word from our sponsor, Health IQ. Absolute Strength is sponsored by Health IQ, an insurance company that helps weightlifters and other health-conscious people get lower rates on their life insurance. They are also the official life insurance partner of USA Weightlifting. Health IQ uses science and data to secure lower rates on life insurance. Physically active people have a 56% lower risk of heart disease, 20% lower risk of cancer, and a 58% lower risk of diabetes compared to people who are inactive. I like to compare this to saving money on your car insurance for being a good driver. Health IQ saves you money on your life insurance for living a health-conscious lifestyle. If you think you're too young to worry about life insurance companies calculate your policy rates based on your nearest age, not your actual age. And rates increase as you get older. So lock in the best rate possible by getting a free quote today. To see if you qualify, get your free quote today at healthiq.com/absolute strength or mention the promo code absolute strength when you talk to a Health IQ agent. Look, this really hits home for me. I just recently got married. I have a 3-year-old daughter. I have a family to support. You hate to think about it, but if something ever happened to me, what happens to my family? I feel it's irresponsible not to have coverage. The truth is, you just never know. I mean, you never know. We live in a crazy world, and it's just better to be insured. So what's unique about Health IQ? When it comes to life insurance, weightlifters usually have issues getting good rates because of BMI. BMI stands for body mass index, and it can't tell the difference between muscle and fat. For example, I'm 5'5" and 165 pounds, and based off from my BMI, I'd actually be considered overweight, despite being in good shape and relatively low body fat as well. Health IQ works with carriers to ensure strength trainers, guys who lift weights and have a bigger BMI, because of that, a buffer to account for the added weight from muscle mass. You owe it to yourself to give this a shot. 56% of Health IQ clients get exclusive special rates. To see if you qualify, get your free quote today at healthiq.com/absolute strength or mention the promo code absolute strength when you talk to a Health IQ agent. I will put the direct link in the show notes. How'd you get him? Where'd you get him from?
So I was I wanted a dog so bad. Like, I wanted a companion, and I was feeling like lonely, and like I wanted to I love to love and like take care of something. I was like, I've been wanting a dog forever, so I looked through like 4,000 dogs.
Oh wow!
And then because I wanted a pit, but my roommate wasn't really like fond of them, and I was like, okay. So I found some golden doodles.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. So how long have you had them?
It'll be a week. Actually, today's a week. Today's Thursday. 1 whole week.
Has it been an adjustment?
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But anyway, especially him being such a baby. So a lot of bathroom breaks and going outside and having to keep my eyes on him.
It's probably a good thing, though, to, like, for an activity standpoint, like, get you out and walking around. And
I know, yeah. I like it because he, like, gets me up earlier. And, you know, for, like, a little bit of a time, I was, like, kind of, like, going through some things. So, like, it was just a little harder for me to, like, wake up in the morning. And, like, he gets me excited to get going with our day.
That's good.
And, like, just going on, like, a walk in the morning, you just feel like it's, like, burst of, like, energy, you know?
Yeah, I've been actually doing that lately because I found, when all you do is online coaching, you just sit in your office all day, that getting up and walking around can be pretty beneficial.
Exactly. And just, like, I want to, like, keep growing my coaching business. And now that I have more time and I'm done with school, so I can like, it's nice because I can be home and watch him, you know?
Yeah. You have more time on your hands now. You don't have to go to class and whatnot.
Yeah. So.
How'd you get into social media and all that?
Yeah, so I just started like posting all the time, especially once I started like prepping for my bikini show. Katie actually encouraged me to like keep posting, and I was like, nah, I don't really care.
Yeah.
Well, actually, so when like I first started like working like out more my freshman year of college, I made a fitness account. It was like that first boyfriend that I had that got me into it.
The one with the garage gym?
Yeah, he was like, you know, everyone I've said have like left names out except Katie.
I know it's like unspoken, but all the names have been changed too, but not really changed, just left out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to like.
You're not in the call out business.
No. But she was like, he was like, why don't you make like a fitness account, like share all your tips that you have for like freshmen in the dorms, because like I wanted to eat healthy and like being on a college meal plan. Hey, stop it. Okay.
That's funny.
Oh, man. He likes putting anything in his mouth. Right now he's chewing the tree skirt, but it's okay. It was $1.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I like started that little account, and I like kind of kept with it. And I was like, nah, I don't know. I just like didn't really care that much. And then I was like, I don't really want to post it on my personal account, so I don't want to like annoy people or like what they think of me or stupid stuff.
Yeah.
But I already had like, I think I had like 2,000 followers on my personal account already, or like a little more than that.
Mm-hmm.
So I know, so many.
Hey, it's more than most people start with.
It's true. And then I just started posting my like gym stuff occasionally, and like people like liked it. And then I just started like becoming really passionate about sharing everything. So I just kept posting and posting. It's so cool, like the evolution of how like Instagram has grown from like now there's stories, now you can highlight a story. You know, now there's like a DM, you can message people. It's more than just posting a picture and commenting.
So
and
I have to ask, when Instagram first had like started the DMs, how many DMs did you get?
It's funny because I messaged Katie the other day, and I scrolled up to our old messages, and it was like, oh well, this DM thing is weird because like this weird guy is trying to talk.
Oh, of course.
I'm like, oh my god, these weird messages. And then like I had Snapchat, so you know all your stories would go there, and like I had it on public so like people could talk to me because I thought that was like super cool. I like wanted to talk to as many people as possible. And then my DM stays in like the 100+ request. I'll like show you. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, you gotta show me this. This has to be good.
I have the worst. Like my DM's lit, so it's just.
Well, the DM's popping.
This is the private request one.
Oh, yeah, it is. That's the request one. Wow.
Yeah, it just keeps going. I read every single DM. And then I only respond to a few. Because, like, what I've found with people is, like, you can't be too nice. Because, like, say you, like, message someone back or, like, answer a question. They think they're, like, your friend now. And it's, like, definitely, like, here for you. But people like start to form like weird obsessions or like think they can message you all the time or like, you know, and like to them before you're kind of just like, I don't want to say like a fantasy, but like the idea of you like follow you and like know your life, but they've never talked to you. And then like you talk to them to be nice. And I'm talking about like guys here that are weird.
Yeah.
Sorry for the squeaky toys. And then they send in blocking people. Then I get like the inappropriate messages. I just go to DM.
What? As we're talking about this, how? All right, so this is gonna be interesting. All right, how? What's like do you remember like a weird one that you got?
I get like some phallus photos.
Oh. I can imagine.
Video. It's so funny. So now Instagram is like, oh, blur this image, right?
Yeah, it'll blur it, so you have to like accept it or whatever.
Yeah, and
but then you're curious when it's blurred. You're like, I'm curious. What is this?
I literally was like with my friend the other day, and it was like a DM picture request. I was like, $10. It's a dick pic.
Was it? Oh,
He's
boy.
like, no. He's like, no, it's not. I'm like, you open it. He goes. I'm like, I literally when I get them, I scream. I'm like, ah!
I can imagine.
I'm like, ew.
These are those moments where I guess it's not that bad to be a guy because I don't have it doesn't go the other way around. You know.
You don't get booty pics?
No, I don't. My DMs are not they're not popping like that.
I've also gotten pictures from girls.
Oh, you have? I can imagine. But that's kind of surprising.
Okay, the weirdest thing. This guy like hit me up to shoot before, and
I have heard that the photographer thing can get a little fruity. But continue the story.
Super selective. I normally won't shoot with someone unless like I know someone that shot with them.
Yeah.
Like they look legit and like not creepy. It's not some guy with a camera that thinks he does photography.
Yeah. Everyone's in this day and age. Everyone thinks they're a photographer.
Yeah, but this guy's picture was like really cool, and like you could tell he was like attracted to me, you know. But he also had like a girlfriend, and I was like, whatever. He probably just thinks I'm pretty. Wants to, you know. And then like he sent me like a half naked picture of his girlfriend, and it was like, come over tonight.
Just that's all he said?
He was like, me and my girlfriend want to like hang out with you. We think you're hot and beautiful. And I'm just like because before he can like message me because we were talking about like shooting, and then like
it was like completely normal. The conversation was completely normal.
Yeah.
And then that
happened. That was probably the weirdest thing.
That has to be the weirdest. That's weird. Did you respond?
I just opened it.
Did you go over?
Yeah, it was the best night of my life.
You're like, well, the second half of the story is I actually did go over.
Non-disclosure on the podcast. No.
That's funny.
No. I remember like it being the middle of the night, and I like opened it, and like so I have this TV series or Facebook series with a local radio station called Single in San Diego. Mm-hmm. And we do like these videos. It's like Q&As. It's a lot of fun. It's really funny. It's a little. I'll send it to you later. But it's at Single in SD on Instagram, and then it's Energy 97.3, the radio station on their Facebook. But so we have this group chat, and we send our like weird DMs to each other. And I sent that to them, and then the guys were like, let's find their address. We'll show up in all leather.
Oh my God. That would be so funny. That would be hilarious.
Guys show up.
That would be so fun. They would have to film that.
I know.
That would have been hilarious. Be like, come in, like, I heard you guys are down to party.
Okay. So then I blocked him. Definitely not shooting with him.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Man, that's wild. That's interesting. That's definitely interesting.
Yeah, I actually met one of my boyfriends through Instagram.
Through a DM?
I DM'd him.
Oh, you DM'd him. So all right. So how did so let's say what would be well, I guess you did DM him, but what would be either what you did or what would be a good DM to send if this is the goal?
I didn't know we were going to like turn into a relationship. We like followed each other, and like I knew he had a girlfriend before, and I was like, wow, this guy's like super attractive. Uh-huh. And he competes. He was like doing pretty well. That's so funny. My dog is so smart. I hid his toys in I put them away in like the drawers under the coffee table, and he pulled the drawer out right now and got his toy out.
Oh wow, that's pretty intelligent.
My dog is so smart. Such a proud mom.
Proud mom.
And
he's like, I taught him that. He didn't. He just taught himself.
Okay, sorry, I easily distracted. I kind of have to watch it. So yeah, he was competing in Miami, and he actually took a picture with Steve Cook, and I was like, hey, like two of my favorite guys in one pic. And I think I commented on it, like, oh, like how cute or something. Yeah. And then I DM'd him. I was like, oh, you looked great at Miami. Like, so you get the place that you wanted. Like, you'll get them next time. Like, great job. He was like, thanks. And we DM'd like all day. And then ever since that day, we talked every day for over a year.
Oh, wow.
Every single day. So then he was actually competing in the bodybuilding.com spokesmodel search. He was like a finalist because he lived in Chicago. So he was like, I'm flying out to LA. And like we like FaceTimed like every night, like almost every night. And we were getting like, super close. And so super ballsy. I was like, yeah, I'll just stay with you. And like, I know. I think I was 18. I was 19.
Okay.
I was 19 and he was like 25. Like the older men.
Did it work out, I guess? Well,
I mean, we dated for over a year. He just a little insecure. Yeah. Like, I'm a very loyal person. I would never cheat on anyone. Like, if I'm with you, it's because I love you. And like,
well, it seems like you kind of tend towards going towards the long distance relationships.
No, I mean, he's the only like real long distance relationship. I broke up with the guy that I worked out with initially, because I went to college, but we've remained like really good friends. We're still good friends now, and like we catch up and talk and stuff.
Oh, that's good.
But yeah, it was interesting. I mean, it was a lot of fun because it was someone that was doing the same things I was doing. We were both starting to get involved in the industry and getting sponsors, and like we'd go to expos together.
Yeah.
I flew to South Carolina to see him compete in junior essays. I flew to Chicago to see him compete in junior nats. Like I was just like there for everything, you know?
Yeah.
And it was just super cool, like having someone that just like related to me so much and like was there for me all the time. And you know, it was great. But yeah, just the whole. He was actually supposed to move out with me and move out here, but we needed to work on some things, and I was like, you know, maybe we should just wait.
Yeah, that'd be a big jump.
He didn't like that, and so we ended. It was kind of a bad ending.
No, oh shit.
It's okay. He can stay in Chicago.
He's probably regretting that right now, as it's probably freezing right there.
I know, right? Yeah.
Buried in snow.
But it's all good.
So let's dissect while we're on the topic of DMs here, for all the guys listening. What would be a DM that would be
like appropriate,
but maybe still get your attention or get any girl's attention? What would be a DM?
Honestly, the most subtle way to talk to someone is replying to someone's stories.
Yeah, I think that would probably be the move, guys.
Like, oh, that looks really good. How did you make that? Or like, can you tell me more about this Pulse pre-workout you use? Like,
what was the discount code?
Can I use your link? Honestly, this is so subtle. I'm like, not gonna lie, I've done it myself.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah, so subtle.
Be subtle, don't be creepy. And then like, and I have guys that message me and they're like, hey, like I think you're so beautiful, and like I'd love to work out or hang out with you sometime. It's like usually it's a little weird, and like I kind of get those messages a lot. That it sounds so cocky.
You're like, I get them all the time. Like I get all the time. That's my entire DM is just guys saying how good I look.
Like I don't want that. He's such a cunt. He's running around with his potty pad in his mouth now. I'm just gonna show you.
I gotta see this.
Can you see?
Yeah, I see it.
He's such a brat. No, it's fine. It's because I'm not paying attention to him.
Yeah, I know he's probably mad.
No, he just plays with his toys. I gotta go get him more. But yeah, it's just I don't know. It's just like that doesn't really attract me. It's weird because you think the girl wants to be complimented all the time,
but it's too much.
It's just like in person, it's so different, you know. Being like, oh, I just think you're so beautiful. It's like, okay, like I get, you know, the way someone looks is like what attracts you to someone. Or, you know, it's kind of like human nature. Like you don't really know much about them, but if that's the first thing you're like saying to me, it's just like, I don't really want to like talk to someone just because they're like calling me beautiful, you know?
Yeah.
It's just like, I want someone to like be like, wow, I like really like who you are. Oh, fuck. Stop it. Sorry.
It's all right.
Naughty puppy.
But no, I think you're right there. I think sometimes guys, they have the misconception that they think if they say what you want to hear right off the bat, that's gonna like get them ahead.
All right. No, I mean, unless that. Okay, most of the guys like hit me up. I don't know. I have very high standards when it comes to like.
Well, I was just gonna say. I think I could be wrong, but it probably depends on the guy too, right? Like it goes both ways here.
It does. It does depend on the guy. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't want to be judgmental, you know. But at the end of the day, like, it's a little weird for me to, even though I found my ex-boyfriend this way, it's a little weird for me to like want to go out of my way to like meet someone over social media.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I wouldn't want someone to be like, hey, let's hang out. Like, the first thing that you say to me is, hey, let's hang out. Like, ew, like, you're a creep.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Well, we're getting to it because they're probably, it's weird because they've probably been following you, but you haven't been following them. So it's like this disconnect. So they almost probably feel like they know you because they've been following your story, your posts and whatnot. Exactly. And then you have no idea who they are.
Yeah, but if it's like mutual and I've been like following this person and we like each other's pictures or like comment sometimes or say we like reply to each other's stories. And then from there, it's just like, hey, you know, I feel like I've gotten to know you. Let's hang out.
Yeah. It's more casual, natural.
Or if I've heard of them through other people, like other people I know them. Like they hang out with one of my friends or one of my friends' friends.
Yeah.
Then it's just like, okay, you're just not some random social media person. Like you're a real person, you know? Mm-hmm. But it's just some like rando hitting you up in your DM. Nah.
Oh, this is funny. So what do you have planned for 2018? You're competing this year? Coming up?
I am, yeah. So I just started dieting. I have a new coach, but he goes to my gym now. So, I mean, I'm all for online coaching, but for, like, what I want to do and the attention I want from a coach, I want someone that can look at me and, like, see me in the gym, you know? Mm-hmm. Or, like, not only that, but assess me and being like, hey, man, like, come over here, like, another coach. Like, do you think she looks a little flat? Or, like, how does she look? Like, what does she need? Like, in the community. So I go to World's Gym in San Diego, which is, like, you know, like the Mecca in Venice?
Yep.
It's basically that, but in San Diego. I literally live 3 minutes away from it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So it's just like, I feel so like loved there, and it's just like a huge community, like so many like professional bodybuilders there, and like bikini competitors, figure competitors, and they all like give me shit and like give me hard times. They're like, come on, girl. Like,
it's good though. That's good.
Like, yeah, it's just, I like that like tough love. And so, yeah, my coach is there. It's great. Finally have like an in-person coach, and so I'll be competing in like a regional show in May, and then my goal is just to like attack all those junior nationals and national shows and see what happens, you know.
I love it. I like it.
My competition goals, I really want to go for that pro card. I feel like I have the shape for it and potential. I just need to get that conditioning, stage presence down, you know, all the important stuff.
Excellent.
But, yeah, so that's my goal, and then my goal is just to like keep building my personal brand and my coaching business, and I'm actually working on an ebook right now. I've like even surveyed like my followers and potential customers and like kind of like what they'd want, and I have like the whole base of things. So I'm gonna do it has like an intro to flexible dieting, how to track your macros, and like explains why you do it, how you do it, like everything. It's pretty detailed. And then I have an 8-week workout program. It's mostly for like females.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, guys can do it. Mm-hmm. But it's more like lower body focused, you know. So it has like the workouts in detail of like reps, sets, tempo, like all written out. And then I'm going to do like a photo shoot for it to like demonstrate each exercise. So there's like visual representation, and then I have like training logs for people like track their progress in the gym, and then also like how to track your physical progress, and then as well as like some bonus macro friendly like recipes and like a grocery guide. Yeah, I don't know. I put a lot into it.
Cool. It sounds like it's gonna be pretty epic. Do you like writing?
I do.
Yeah, me too. I enjoy reading.
Yeah, I like reading, writing. I don't know. That's just something I've always enjoyed. But
Yeah, I'm like a book collector. There's my bookshelf back there.
that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm like I don't know. I love reading. So if I come across the book, I immediately put it on my Amazon wish list and buy it. Like I don't know. I'm like a book collector. I buy more books than I can even read, but I read quite a bit.
That's awesome. Actually, that's another one of my goals is to read one book a month.
Yeah, that's good. That's excellent. Like most people don't read much after college.
No, I was actually excited to graduate college so I had time to read.
Yeah, exactly. Because I didn't read when I was in college. Actually, I've read after college a lot more than I ever read in college because you don't have time. You don't have time. If you're going to be reading something, you probably should be studying.
And like your mind is just so overconsumed with like all these other subjects and like stuff you're supposed to be learning that you don't really have time to like enjoy the books that you want, and it's just kind of like another thing. It seems like a task. But the week I graduated college or was done with finals, I ordered 2 books.
That's awesome. What 2 books?
So I got The Code of the Extraordinary Mind and Think, Grow, Rich. So both about
personal development.
Yeah, so it's all just about like your mindset, and I'm also reading a book called The Secret, which is about like the law of attraction. I don't know if you've heard of it, but a lot of those books.
That's good. Yeah, I read a lot of personal development type stuff. Like, I think as an entrepreneur, but really not even. I mean, I don't really like just saying that because I just think as a person who has goals, I think you need to invest in yourself.
Exactly. You have to invest in yourself first. Like I've even said it in like posts and stuff. Like you want to make money or whatever, like invest in yourself and grow your mind and grow your perspective, get a mentor. I don't know if you have a mentor. I'm like working on getting one. It's just like who I want it to be has to be so important. And I have like someone in mind, and I feel like I'm going to reach out to her pretty soon about it.
That'd be beneficial for sure.
It's Amanda Latona. Like I want her to be my mentor. So just how she's seen the industry change and how she's always kept like such a positive just like mindset about everything, and how she's just such a genuine person and like a woman of God, and she has her own clothing company now, and it's just like she's obviously like killing it, especially being someone that's considered a little more older now in the industry. And I remember meeting her a long time ago, and ever since then, I guess I left an impression on her. She's always set special time aside for me at an expo.
That's awesome.
Like, she'd take her pictures with other people, but she would have like a 30-minute conversation with me each time. Like, she kind of like knows who I am, and that's to me, like, that she would like, she views me enough to like give me special attention, Yeah,
it'd definitely be good to have someone like that as a mentor. I don't know. I think a lot about just because I do offer coaching from a fitness side, but I just like coaching in all aspects of life. I feel like I'm just a big believer in it.
Definitely. I mean, we all have room to improve and grow, and if you think you're fine, then you're ignorant.
Exactly. Like if you can't think in your head right now of 5 things you could get better at, you're just behind. You have to always think that you can get better in all aspects of life.
Definitely.
This has been awesome. How can people get more information about you?
About me?
Yeah.
So you can follow me on Instagram, of course, @AlyssaRose_fit. I have a YouTube channel. I'll be posting more videos, so that's just Alyssa Rose LaGrande. And then email AlyssaRoseFitness@gmail.com.
Cool. I'll put all that in the show notes.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
This has been fun. This was good. This was a good conversation.
Long rambles about different things.
Yeah, I think people will like it. It's entertaining.
College, dating, potty training.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Absolute Strength Podcast. I know I had a ton of fun producing it for you. And before you go, if you could just drop me some feedback, I'd love it. I love reading your feedback. So you can go over to iTunes, leave a 5-star rating, write a little review, what you think of the podcast. I absolutely love it. I read every single one. But it's cool if you don't want to do that. I get it. No one wants to really go out of their way to do anything, let alone write a review. But I want to get your feedback. So drop me a line on Instagram @HuntFitness, or on Facebook, Kyle Hunt, or on Twitter, or send a pigeon or something. I don't know. I just want to hear your feedback. So if you want to give me some feedback, let me know what you think. Hit me up on Instagram @HuntFitness. And before you go, I have one last thing. one last thing I want to say. I have a program I want you to check out. It's actually called the Absolute Strength Program, and the link is in the show notes. It's a program I designed to help increase my own squat, bench, and deadlift. And I got pretty strong off of it, and I think you're going to like it. It's a great book. Thousands of people have got amazing results from it. It's in the show notes. All right, guys. Until next time, until next episode, peace.